Okay, let's just dive right in. Look, if you're here, chances are you're facing one of the biggest and, let's be honest, most terrifying conversations you will ever have in your life. This isn't just any old talk. This is one that could redefine, well, everything.
So, you're about to have this conversation that could change it all. You've discovered something about yourself, right? About your capacity for love or connection, and it just doesn't quite fit into that neat little box we're all given. And the anxiety around this? Oh, it's real. Because the stakes couldn't feel higher. This one conversation has the power to deepen your marriage beyond what you thought possible, or it could be the thing that ends it.
And that's the paralyzing question, isn't it? Where do you even begin? How do you start? Well, that's exactly what this is for. Think of this as your roadmap, a step-by-step guide to navigating this pivotal moment with as much honesty, integrity, and the best possible chance for a constructive outcome as you can have. So, first off, why does this feel so monumental? It's because you're not just suggesting a change in behavior. You're actually challenging a deeply, deeply ingrained cultural story we have all been told since we were kids, that true love must be exclusive. Period. You're asking your partner to consider a reality that contradicts almost everything she's ever been taught. The concept at the very heart of this is called compersion. It's often described as the opposite of jealousy. It's the feeling of genuine joy you get from seeing your partner's joy, even if that happiness is with someone else. You're essentially introducing a whole new emotional vocabulary, an idea our culture doesn't really have space for. And that means it requires immense care. Before you even think about saying a single word, you have to do the work. And I cannot stress this enough. This is absolutely not a conversation to have on an impulse. Your timing needs to be strategic and your mind needs to be clear. Impulsively blurting this out is probably the fastest way to disaster. Your preparation really boils down to these 3 critical steps. First, you need to understand your why. Second, you have to get educated on what you're even talking about. And third, you must take a brutally honest look at the current state of your marriage. Let's break those down. This is the first and maybe the most uncomfortable question you have to ask yourself. Is this desire for openness an escape? Are you trying to solve existing issues by adding new people into the mix? Because if you've already crossed boundaries, you're not starting a conversation about compersion. You're starting a crisis management session from a place of broken trust. And here's the crucial point. Opening a relationship will not fix underlying problems. It will act as a massive amplifier, making every existing crack a canyon. If you're already struggling with communication, with security, or with unresolved resentment, this conversation is premature. You have to fix the foundation of the house first. All right, let's assume you've done the internal work. Now we move to the tactical execution. The first 5 minutes of this conversation, they are the most critical you will ever have. They set the tone for everything that follows. This slide highlights a simple but absolutely vital point. Choosing the right moment can be the difference between a discussion and a declaration of war. A relaxed weekend morning creates space for processing. A text message during a stressful workday, that just creates panic. Your environment and your timing signal how much you respect her and the topic itself. So here's your first potential approach. This one frames it as a shared intellectual journey, not a demand. It's way less threatening because you're positioning it as something you're exploring together. It invites curiosity rather than just triggering defensiveness. A second option is more direct, more emotionally raw. It leads with your own fear and your vulnerability, which can be incredibly disarming. This approach signals that you're not taking this lightly at all, and that her reaction matters deeply to you. It's about revealing your authentic self, not just a desire you have. And a third approach, well, this one builds on previous conversations you might have already had. The key here is to immediately reassure her that this is not about her being inadequate or you wanting an exit. It's about wanting more honesty within the relationship, not outside of it. Now, no matter how perfectly you begin, her initial reaction will be powerful. The first hour is all about survival. Your only job is to listen, validate her feelings, and create emotional safety. This is not the time to argue your case. Think of this as your playbook for that initial reaction. If she's hurt, your job is to validate, not defend. If she's angry, you stay calm. Don't escalate. And if she shuts down, give her space, but with a firm promise to come back to the conversation. Your response in these first moments determines whether the dialogue can even continue at all. And please, please avoid conversation killers like this one. This statement is pure manipulation. It reframes her valid emotional reaction as a failing on her part.
It's a form of emotional blackmail, and it will immediately and maybe permanently destroy any chance of a productive dialogue.
Now, let's look at the path forward. That first talk is just opening the door. The real work happens in the weeks and months that follow. This isn't a single event. It is the beginning of a process. A great way to continue is by offering resources. But don't just hand her a reading list like it's a homework assignment. Frame it as, hey, these helped me understand my feelings. If you're interested, they might offer some perspective. It turns it into a shared journey of learning, not a test she has to pass. This timeline is a powerful reminder to be patient. I mean, some couples discuss this for years before making any changes. Others find that just having the conversation was enough to bring new honesty to their monogamous relationship. You have to be willing to let go of the outcome and respect her pace. And now for a dose of hard reality. You have to be prepared for these possibilities. This could end your relationship. You might find the reality doesn't match the fantasy. And you absolutely must consider whether you can handle it if she finds more partners more easily than you do. Can you feel compersion then? This right here, this is the most important perspective shift you can make. This is not a debate to be won. The ultimate prize isn't her agreement. It's a relationship where both of you can show up as your full, authentic selves and figure out if you can build a life that honors both of your truths. And that's what it all comes down to. This conversation is an immense risk, there's no denying it. But for many, the risk of hiding, of living a life that feels dishonest, is even greater. And that's the question only you can answer.